Today I will explain you 7th unit of second block. So this 7th unit belongs to the second block of ms02. So name of this unit it is given socialization, mobility and separation. So I will explain you about these three terms in detail. First topic here in this unit given concept of organizational socialization. So what it is organizational socialization? So socialization refers to the process by which a person acquire the knowledge, skills and disposition that make them more or less able members of the society. Okay, it means here it is the process by which a person acquire. Okay, it is the process of acquiring knowledge, skills to be the member of the society. Because for being a member of society, certain kinds of knowledge and skills are required to behave in accordance with the society's norms and values. So that's why here socialization we can say that is a process by which person acquire knowledge and skills to be a member of the society. Because I already told that for being a member of a society, a person must have certain kinds of knowledge and skills so that he or she can behave in accordance with the norms and values of the society. As managers and professionals, the person will be responsible for the socialization of newcomers and subordinates in his or her organization. So just like managers and professionals, people, or you can say employee who is going to join any organization will have to be socialized in the organization. So it means we can say that person, the new employee, should learn or should get the knowledge and skills to behave in accordance with the norms and values of the organization. Second topic here given, individuals and the organization, the process of integration. So individuals and organization, the process of integration. So how individuals, or you can say how newcomers to the organization become integrated into the organizational system. Okay, here it is given the individual joining any organization develops new values, attitudes and behavior appropriate for membership. Individual joining any organization develops means whoever is going to join the organization will have to develop new values, attitudes and behavior appropriate for the membership of the organization. And if he or she does not develops new values, attitudes, behavior in appropriate, or you can say in accordance with the organization, then in that case he is not going to be accepted as the member of the organization. The problems associated with the entrance into and adoption to work organizations are issues of adult socialization. Here you see the problems. So here entrance into and adaptation to work organizations are issues of adult socialization, because generally people working in the organization or joining into the organization are adults. So here the main issue is that how those adult people can be joined, or how those adult people can be integrated into the organization. So here the matter, it is about adult socialization. So how adults can be socialized in the organization. So individual, so you see here individuals have values, beliefs, attitudes and behavior patterns obtained through earlier socialization, because each individual has certain kinds of values, beliefs and attitudes and certain kinds of behavior which he or she has learnt from the previous socialization. It may be either in the family or in schools or in college. So from these places he or she learnt values, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. Okay, so if he or she goes to the organization, then he or she will have to change he, his value system, belief system, and attitudes and behavior, so that he can be integrated into the organization. So that's why that integrating process, it is the socialization process. Means the individuals will have to change values, beliefs, or you can say these values, belief, behavior, these things individual will have to modify to get accepted or to be the member of the organization. So this process of integration is socialization process. So here given organizational boundary, process of learning and adapting to new expectation and requirements. Here the individual learns to adopt new skills, behavior, and attitude, so that he or she can work in the organization in accordance with the norms and values of the organization. So that's what here it is given, the socialization process. Organizational socialization, the process of becoming an adapter. Now you see here given about organizational socialization. Till that point I explained something about general pattern of socialization, means what are the things which happen in socialization process. Now here in particular I am going to explain you the process of becoming an accepted member is a reciprocal process. So you see here, process of becoming an accepted member is a reciprocal process. The individual adopts, but so does the organization. So whether the individual is going to be accepted by the organization or not, that will depend on the reciprocal process. So what is this reciprocal process? The individual adopts, and also the organization will have to adopt certain behaviors of the individual. Okay, and the individual also will have to change its attitudes, norms, or belief system in accordance with the values and norms of the organization. Every time an organization takes in a new member, two is subject to new influences, increasing likelihood of change. So now you see, every time an organization takes in a new member, two is subject to new influences, increasing likelihood of change. So if any person is going to join any organization, then the organization will be influenced by that organization also, because that individual has certain kind of values, norms, belief. So that's where according to that organization will change up to a limit, and because that individual is going to influence the organization just the way organization is going to influence the individual. So self-image and membership. Individuals hold a certain image of themselves when entering the organization. So this undergoes changes, and they interact with the organization and learn new tasks and roles. You see here, so when the individual is going to join the organization, then at that time he has a certain self-image, and when he joins, then that image changes, and he interacts with the organization and learn new tasks and roles. Membership often requires the development of new values appropriate to the position. Membership, so you see, membership, whether the individual is going to be accepted as the member of the organization or not, that will require the development of new values appropriate to the position, means in accordance with the position of that individual, he will have to develop new values. Never the total person. You see, why here it is written never the total person? Although we are in constant interaction with organizations, they never encompass the total person. It means they never accept the whole values, beliefs, and attitudes of the individual into itself. Means organization is not going to accept all values, norms, and belief system of the individual to the organization. Organizations are designed to accomplish specific purposes, and they engage only a segment of a person in accomplishing these objectives. It means for achieving a particular objective, the organization only accept a certain segment of the person. Means whatever segment of the person is required for achieving the goal, only that segment of the person is accepted by the organization. They are most interested in a specific behavior that affects individual performance in meeting these goals. It means organizations are, you see here, interested in, organizations are interested in a specific behavior. So what kind of a specific behaviors organizations are interested in? So organizations are interested in only those behaviors which are important for meeting the goals of the organization. Okay, and other behaviors, whatever other behaviors the individual has, the organization is not going to consider about that. Managers are interested in having individuals adopt their behavior in organizationally relevant matters. Hence, managers want that people joining the organization should behave in accordance with the organization. It seeks to utilize only part of a person's skill and abilities. So, a whole lot of skills, means so many different kinds of skills the person may possess, but managers want or managers are interested only those skills which are important for the organization, for achieving the goal of the organization, not in all skills. This implies that there is always limited integration or socialization of the total person into the organization. It means there is only limited integration or socialization of the total person. Means whole person is not going to be integrated into the organization, because organization is only interested only in certain kinds of behavior and values of the person, and those behaviors and attitudes which are important for achieving the goals of the organization, only in those behaviors and attitudes in which the organization is going to be interested. Never the total organization, just the way, never the total person. In the same way we can say never the total organization. So how we can say? Just as the organization never encompasses the total individual, you see, just as the organization never encompasses, so just the way organization never encompasses the whole person, the total individual does not comprehend and experience the total organization. In the same way, the person who is working in the organization also doesn't experience the whole organization, means doesn't experience the whole comprehension and experience of the organization. He only experiences only a part of the organization. People in organizations have limited perspectives of the total organization because of difference in hierarchical levels. You see, people in organizations have limited perspectives of the total organization because of the differences in hierarchical levels, tasks assigned, departmental affiliation, and interpersonal contacts. You can see people in the organization have limited perspective of the total organization. Why people working in the organizations have limited perspective of the organization? Because of differences in hierarchical levels. Means according to the position or according to the level of the position, the individual is going to assigned tasks or department of affiliations, and on the basis of that he is going to interact with the people. So that particular individual has limited interaction with the people working in the organization. For example, research and development people are going to interact mostly with the R&D department people, and rarely going to interact with other department people. So that's why here research and development members have limited interaction or limited perspective of the whole organization, that how the whole organization works. So that's why here given never the total organization. Self-concept and organizational socialization. Your own self-concept and organizational socialization. Your own self-concept plays a major part in the socialization process. So you see, your own self-concept means how you think about yourself. Okay, that will decide how you are going to be socialized in the organization. So that's why written your own self-concept plays a major part in the socialization process. When the self-concept is compatible with one's organizational role and requirement, the person is likely to be motivated, oriented to task performance, and satisfied. You see, when the self-concept of the person is compatible with the organization's role, means whatever he got the role in the organization, if his self-concept is in accordance, his self-concept and the role which he got in the organization are compatible, then he will be motivated, oriented to task performance, and will be satisfied. However, when self-concept and organizational role are not compatible, then integration is difficult and motivation, performance, and satisfactions are likely to be low. You see, when self-concept means the way person think about himself is not compatible with the role which he got in the organization, then in that case integration of the individual with the organization is difficult, and there will be less motivation and satisfaction, and if there is less motivation satisfaction, then the performance will fall. Part of the organizational socialization process may be learning to develop a self-concept appropriate for the new situation. You see, part of the organizational socialization process may be learning to develop a self-concept appropriate for the new situation. It means whatever the self-concept the person had before, so that self-concept will have to change if that person has to socialize in the organization. It means in accordance with the organization, it means in accordance with the norms and values of the organization, the person will have to change his self-concept. Then it is possible that he can be socialized in the organization. Each of us learn to construct somewhat different selves for the different kinds of situation in which we are called on to perform, and for the different kinds of roles we are expected to take. It means we learn, or we can say we construct our self-concept on the basis of what we do in different situations, and according to that we think about ourselves like that we are like that because we did that in those situations. So what we do in different situations will decide what we think, means that those things will decide self-concept. It means self-concept depends on the way people behave in different situations. Concept of roles and organizational socialization. Role is the pattern of action expected of a person in his activities involving others. So now you see, concept of roles and organizational socialization is how role is related to organizational socialization. So first see, it is given about role. So what is this? Role is the pattern of actions expected of a person in his activities involving others. It means whatever actions are expected of the person, so those pattern of actions will make the rule, or we can say expected pattern of action will be role, will decide the role. It arises as a result. You see, the pattern of actions expected of a person in his activities involving others. It means the way the person behave, or the way the person do different kinds of things in accordance with the expectation of a person. So that activity, or you can say a set of activities, will be called as role. It arises as a result of position one occupies in social structure as he or she interacts with other people. So why certain kinds of behaviors or certain kinds of responses people make in different situations. So here the predictability, it is due to the role, or you can say the position one occupies in social structure. Means whatever position one occupies in the social structure, according to that he or she will have to interact with the people. Okay, and if he is interacting with the people, so certain activities are performed by him. So those sets, or you can say the set of those activities will will construct the role. Each role calls for different types of behavior. Means different roles, different sets of behaviors are required of the person. Status and socialization. The social rank of a person comparison with the others in social system is referred to as status. It means social rank of a person in comparison with, so here it means whatever it is, the social rank of the person in comparison with the other person in the social system is referred to as status. If higher is the social rank in comparison with the others, then higher will be the status. Individuals are brought together in a status system or a status hierarchies which define their rank relative to others in the system. It means the way people in the social system are placed will decide their status in the system. Status congruence or consistency reflects the degree among various indicators of a status for a person. An employee who lacks a status congruence is regarded with ambiguity and anxiety by those in this group. You see, a status congruence reflects the degree among various indicators of a status for a person. Means the status congruence means whatever it is the self-concept of the individual, if that self-concept it is in congruence with the status which he acquires in the group or the place where he works, then there will be less ambiguity and anxiety. And if the status it is not in congruence with the position which he acquires in the group or in the working place, then in that case there will be more ambiguity and anxiety. Loss of a status seriously affects the personality. Loss of a status seriously affects the personality, because personality depends on the status. People therefore become quite responsible in order to develop and protect their status. So here there is direct relation in between the status and the personality. So the loss of status seriously affects the personality. People become quite responsible in order to develop and protect their status. If the status is going to be lost, if status is lost, then in that case personality will degrade. Next given, Topic socialization factors in organizational socialization. Means what are socialization factors are there which affect organizational socialization. To the extent that individuals have faced significantly different acculturation process in their earlier lives, they represent different inputs to socialization process. You see, according to the acculturation process in their earlier lives, means according to the way the individual has experience in his past, or you can say the way he learned different kinds of behaviors, attitudes or beliefs. So those things will affect the socialization process in the organization also. Influence of subordinates. You see here, here I am explaining influence of subcultures relevance, subculture relevance for gender and minority. You see here, if it is possible, if I underline, then it will be, this is the heading I think. Okay, influence of subculture relevance for gender and minority. So how minority, gender, these things influence socialization process. Issues of minority issues. A good deal of evidence suggests that much dissimilarity occurs because of different socialization process for girls and boys. Means here you see differences in socialization occurs. You see dissimilarity occurs because of different socialization process. So why here dissimilarity is there in socialization process for girls and boys? So here rules are systematically inculcated in individuals, means different rules are inculcated in boys and girls. So that's why they have dissimilarity in socialization process. Here second given, cross culture comparison. Early socialization processes deeply affect the expectations and behavior of a particular people. Okay, here means earlier means the way people have learned in their past, or the way they have the experience. According to that they will have different expectations and behavior. You know, in the organizational socialization process abroad, we may find that we are requiring people to develop attitudes, values and behavior patterns that are in conflict for the individual. So in the organizational socialization process abroad, it means in foreign countries, socialization process, it will be difficult because the person who has grown up in the country, for example, if he has grown up in India and he has learned certain kinds of norms, values according to the Indian culture, and if he goes to other country, then in that case he will feel some kind of difficulties in socialization process because the culture there, it is different. The norms, value systems are different there. So that's why it is possible that he may feel difficulty in the organizational socialization process. Not only must individuals adjust, but the organization will have to adopt attitudes, beliefs and behavior patterns that different people bring into the organization. Okay, here individuals will have to adapt according to the culture of the organization. Okay, which means he will have to socialize himself in accordance with the norms and values of the organization. Just the way individuals socialize in the organization, organizations will have to adapt to the attitudes, beliefs and behavior pattern of different people coming to the organization. So importance of initial job socialization given. So what is the importance of initial job socialization? The development of values, attitudes and behavior patterns during the first year strongly influence future career development. So you see, so whatever it is the socialization in the first year, that will strongly influence future career development in the organization. So whatever values, attitudes and behavior patterns are developed in the person or in the individual during the first year strongly influence future career development. Being motivated to be accepted by the new social system and to make sense of ambiguity surrounding him, he is more receptive to cues from his environment that he will ever be again. So here you see, by motivated to be accepted. So in the beginning he is motivated to be accepted by new social system, so that it can make sense of the ambiguity surrounding him. Okay, so that he can learn different types of ambiguity surrounding him. He can understand the things in a better way in the organization, and he can learn the environment of the organization also. So here he is very receptive, he is more receptive to the cues from his environment in the first year. So what he learns at the beginning will becomes the core of his organizational identity. Means the way he sees the things in the organization will construct his mental structure of the organization, or you can say cognitive structure of the organization, and that will remain as the core thing when he will think about the organization. The first day and the first few months really do count in the individual's organization career, because that it will be for the whole career time. Improving the socialization process. How we can improve the socialization process? So in the individual perspective, realistic career planning. You see here it is the headline, so it is better if underline this. Individual perspective. So from the perspective of the individual, realistic career planning means how the individual can plan the career. Every adult re-socialization process requires the abandonment of certain past values, attitudes and behavior patterns that may have been part of the self-image cultivated by the individual. So here in the process of socialization, means particularly adult socialization process, it is important to abandon. So abandon certain past values, attitudes and behavior patterns. Okay, change, or you can say abandon certain past values, attitudes and behavior patterns and accept new value system, attitudes and behavior patterns. Then in that case it is possible to socialize. During the selection process, the individual should obtain as much information as possible about the organizational climate and its effect on the definition or roles. You see, during the selection process, so individuals who is going to join the organization should gain as much information as possible about the organization, so that it can understand about the organization and he can learn his role in the organization. Okay, this is about socialization process from the individual's perspective, and now socialization from the perspective of the organization. So that's why given here organizational perspective, initial socialization. So socialization process from the perspective of the organization here given. Certainly more balanced recruitment and selection techniques can ease the socialization process. More balanced recruitment means balanced recruitment and selection techniques can ease, can make the socialization very smooth. Some organizations have attempted to provide the prospective employee with more realistic job previews in the form of booklets, films, visits to the work site, and informal discussion that convey not only the positive side of the organizational life but some of the potential problems and frustration as well. You see here. Here it is given from the perspective of the organization or socialization. It is for the socialization. It is very important that prospective employee should be given the information about the realist, you can say, real job previews. So employees should be provided with the information about not only the positive side of the organizational life but also about the potential problems of the organization also, so that he can understand, or you can say whoever is going to work in the organization can understand the organizational environment in a better way, so that he can socialize in the organization effectively. The goal of the socialization should develop creative individualism. The goal of socialization is to create, or you can say to develop creative individualism, where the person generally accepts the key goals, values and norms of the organization but also retains the desire to seek changes and improvement. So what is the goal of the socialization? The goal of the socialization is to develop creative individualism. Okay, creative individualism meaning the individuals joining the organization should accept the key goals, values and norms of the organization, but at the same time he should retain, or he should have a desire to seek changes and improvement. So he should also have the desire to make improvement and changes in the organization if it is required. The socialization process requires significant adaptation on the part of both and results in the negotiation of a psychological contract. You see here negotiation given. Socialization process requires significant adaptation on the part of both, means significant adoption means both will have to adopt, whether it is the individual or whether it is the organization, both will have to adopt to each other, so that by negotiation, okay, both will have to adopt by some kind of negotiation of a psychological contract. So here given a negotiation of psychological contract. Okay, now next given concept of mobility. So what is this mobility? So mobility is an organizational activity. What is this? A type of organizational activity. You see here a type of organizational activity to cope with the changing organizational requirements, like change in organizational structure, fluctuation in requirement of organizational product, introduction of new method of work, etc. You see, mobility is simply organizational activity to cope, means to manage with changes. It means whatever activity is there to manage with the changing organizational requirements, like change in organizational structure, fluctuation in requirement of organizational product, introduction of new method of work. So such type of activity which is used to manage changes in the organization is known as mobility. So mobility is an organizational context, okay, includes mainly promotion and transfer. So mobility here includes mainly promotion and transfer. So promotion or demotion you can say, and transfer. So here you see, so for managing the change in the organization, it may be possible that some people will have to be promoted and some people will have to be demoted, or there may be the need to transfer employee from one department to another to manage changes in the organization. And the changes in the organization, it may be due to the changes in the environment, particularly specific environment. So the purpose of mobility given: to improve organizational effectiveness, to maximize employee efficiency, to cope with changes in operation, to ensure discipline. For example, one I will explain, just like to improve organizational effectiveness. If there is a requirement of more people in a particular department so that more product can be created, so more product can be manufactured in efficient way, then in that case people can be transferred from one department to the another. In this way, organization the whole, or you can say the organization as a whole, will be more productive and the efficiency will be increased. Efficiency will increase there. So here you see promotion. Promotion refers to upward movement in present job leading to greater responsibility, higher status and better salary. So promotion, it is movement, upward movement in present job. Okay, upward movement it is in the present job leading to, and this promotion leads to greater responsibility, higher status and better salary. So the purpose and advantage of promotions are two. So what are the purpose and advantage? So first, to recognize employees' performance and commitment and motivate him toward better performance. To develop, so the purpose and advantage is going to develop competitive spirit among employees for acquiring knowledge and skills for higher level jobs. By promotion, people may be motivated to do more, to be more competitive, to be more knowledgeable, to acquire more knowledge, so that he can go to higher position. And the purpose and advantage here: to retain skilled and talented employees, because talented employees want more responsibility and more benefits. So if the organization wants to retain skilled and talented employees, then the organization will have to promote those people. Reduce discontent and unrest. Utilize more effectively the knowledge and skills of employees. And sixth given, the advantage and the purpose: to attract suitable and competent employees. Promotion program and procedure. You see here it is the heading, so it is better if I underline this. And this one I think also basis of promotion. Okay, here promotion given. So promotion program and procedure. So what are different promotion programs organizations can use, and what are different procedures which the organization can employ. So here given, a carefully planned promotion program has 4 elements. So 4 elements of promotion given. First, formulation of promotion policy. So first formulate the promotion policy. Second, identification of promotion channels, means identify the channel of promotion. Third given, promotion appraisal, means different ways develop a system to appraise people so that they can be promoted. And centralized records. This is the 4 centralized records, meaning keep records of those all people who should be promoted. Basis of promotion: promotion is given on the basis of seniority or merit or combination of both. So here the basis, it may be on the seniority or on the basis of merit or a combination of both. Demotion given, the lowering down of the status, salary and responsibilities. So here demotion, it is nothing but lowering down the status, salary and responsibility, that is demotion. So causes of demotion given: adverse business condition. It may be the poor business condition which is leading to demotion of people working in the organization, incompetency of an employee. It may be due to the incompetency of the employee. Employee is not able to work in accordance with the requirement of the organization, then the employee will be demoted. Technological changes, it may be possible that due to changes in technologies, employees are not able to perform in accordance with the requirement of the organization, so employees will have to be demoted. Disciplinary measure, so undisciplined employees will have to be demoted so that they can learn the lesson that if they are not going to be disciplined, then their status, salary and responsibilities are going to be reduced. Transfer. A transfer is a horizontal or lateral movement of an employee from one job, section, department, shift, plant or position to another where his salary, status and responsibility are the same. So you see, transfer is a horizontal or lateral movement of an employee in the organization. So may be possible that he is going to be moved from one department to another, or maybe from one plant to another plant. Okay, here the position, or you can say the salary, status and responsibility are not going to change. So salary, status and responsibility are going to be same as it was earlier. So that is transfer. So transfers are generally affected, you see, transfers are generally affected to build up more satisfactory work team. So transfer more satisfactory work team, transfers are used. Then the last topic of this unit, it is given separation. Separation means cessation, separation means cessation of service with the organization for one or other reason. So cessation meanings here, separate means cessation of service, or you can say end of the service with the organization. Means the individual employee is going to be separated from the organization, or you can say the end of the service of the organization, not of the organization, end of the service of the employee in the organization. Okay, so that is separation, end of the service of the employee in the organization. It may occur due to resignation, retirement, dismissal, suspension, layoff or death. So these are the reasons due to which he can be separated, or he can be, or his employment is going to be ended from the organization. So resignation given. So these all terms here given. Resignation, voluntary separation initiated by employee. If any employee voluntarily want to separate from the organization, then that process, it will be resignation. Dismissal, the termination of service of an employee by way of punishment for misconduct or unsatisfactory performance. If there is, you can say, end of the employment due to misconduct or unsatisfactory performance of the employee, then it will be known as dismissal. Before dismissal, an employee is given an opportunity to explain his conduct and to show cause why he should not be dismissed. So here, in case of dismissal or the termination of the service, before dismissal, an employee is given an opportunity. He is given the opportunity that why he should not be terminated from the employment. Third, given suspension, it is a serious punishment and is generally awarded only after a proper inquiry has been conducted. It is a type of punishment which is awarded only after a prior, or you can say after a proper inquiry. During suspension, the employee receives a subsistence allowance, means some part of allowance he will get, but not the whole part of the allowance he will get. Fourth given retrenchment. This is given retrenchment. So what is this retrenchment? Means permanent termination of service of an employee for economic reasons in a going concern. So you see, retrenchment means permanent termination due to economic reasons. So it may be possible that the economic condition of the organization is not in good condition, so the employees will have to be terminated permanently. So this is retrenchment. The next given layoff. Layoff implies temporary removal of an employee from the payroll of the organization due to circumstances beyond the control of the employer. If some circumstances are going to arise which are beyond the control of the employer, then in that case temporarily some employees are going to be laid off, means they are going to be removed from the payroll of the organization, and this process is known as layoff.